Hey guys, what is up? It is Tech Genius, and today I am back with a new video, and I am gonna be showing you guys how to make lower thirds in Photoshop. So with that being said, let's get started. So guys, the lower third that we're gonna be making today is gonna look something like this, and I think it looks really nice, and this would just slide into your video like this, and I think it would look really cool. So the first thing I did was I had to go into File and then click on New. So once you do, make sure that the width and the height is set to the resolution of your video. So if you're gonna make 720p videos, it should be 1280 by 720. If you're making 1080p videos, then you put 1920 by 1080. And plus, if you make like 4K videos, you can set the resolution at 4K. So once you do, just click on OK, and it should come up with a screen that looks something like this. Now, it can be a transparent background, or for some of you, it would be a black or a white background. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fill the background. This is not a necessary step or anything. I just want to do this because I want you to be able to see the lower third that I'm gonna make. So yeah, the first thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and click on the shape icon, right click, and make sure it's selected at rounded rectangle tool. So once it is, just drag and create a rectangle that you think is good. And once you do, you want to go ahead into fill and fill it with like a dark gray color, or you can do blue, but we can change this later on the video, so it doesn't matter. So first of all, you want to add a text. So my first text is going to be like the video, so I'm just going to go ahead and type that in. So the text is too big, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that it's gonna fit in first, and then once it does, I'm gonna press on this tool and then press Command T. So if you want to resize any text, and the easiest method to do it is pressing Command T, because you don't have to change the font number again and again. I think this is good, and click on Apply. The color is gonna be changed later on the video, so it's not a big problem, and we're gonna make the rectangle smaller too once we are finished with the product. So make another text box and now type in like if you are enjoying or something. This is just gonna go under the first text, so let's go ahead and type it in. So once you type it in, again, you can press Command T on Mac. I think it's Control T on Windows, and you can resize the text and make sure it is really small. So it doesn't have to be really small, just make sure it's smaller than the first text, and it's gonna go under the first text. So I think it's looking really nice now. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead into the blending options for the first text. So right click on it, go into blending options, and go into gradient overlay. So this is the gradient that we want, and to get this, all you have to do is once you press on gradient overlay, you want to click on the gradient and make sure you click on the first color, double click, and make sure it's almost at a white color but not too white. It's a gray, it's like a metallic kind of color. It's gray, and like for the second one, you're gonna pick a dark gray, and it's gonna give it this metallic effect. And then you're gonna add a an inner glow. And so let me show you what this inner glow is. The settings for this inner glow, make sure the color is white for this one, and the opacity is almost like at 100 or something, doesn't really matter. So what we're gonna do is decrease the size, and then you're gonna increase the choke. So like leave the choke here and decrease the size, and what this gonna do is it's gonna give it like this choke kind of effect, and it looks really cool, as you can see. And once you are happy with your text, you can press OK, and I think it's looking really nice now. Now we're gonna have to go into the blending options for the second text, and we're gonna add a gradient overlay, but for this one we're gonna add color to it. So click on it, and you can go with any kind of color you want. I'm just gonna go with a blue color, so like a light blue for the first one, and like you can select any color that you are happy with, and I think this looks cool. When it's mixed together, they look cool, and you can reverse it if you want. And again, you want to go into inner glow, but this time what we're gonna do is, instead of using white, we're gonna use a darker blue. And what this gonna do is it's just gonna give it this dark blue stroke kind of effect, and decrease the size and increase the choke a bit, and then click on OK. So once you do, it should look really nice now. And I think the rectangle is too big, so what we're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and select the rectangle layer and press Command T. And again, if you are using a Windows computer, you have to press Control T because Command is probably not on your computer. So resize it to fit the text nicely, and once you have, just press enter. Now you can hold down shift and select on all of the layers, and we're gonna drag them to the side. It's only dragging these two for some reason, so I'm gonna select all of the layers, so click. So
2,000 years later.
Yeah, so guys, I have moved the text, and now what I can do is I can just go ahead, and I think these two are a bit offside. Yeah, so now I think it looks really nice. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a like button, and how I can do this is I can just go into my web browser and make sure every time that you are searching for something like for a thumbnail or something, make sure to include PNG at the end, because you don't want it to have a background, you want it to be transparent. So search for like button PNG. So once you search for it, there's lots and lots of thumbs up buttons. I mean, you can go with any of them, you can go with any of them that you like. I'm just gonna go and select YouTube thumbs up buttons, and it's gonna show me some for YouTube. So I think I'm gonna go with this one, so I'm gonna see you guys when I import it into Photoshop. So guys, I have imported the thumbs up button into Photoshop, but as you can see, it's too big. So again, you can press Command T on Mac and Control T on Windows and resize it to the best size. Make sure it's the same size as the rectangle. So hold down the shift key and resize until it's at its best size. So I think we can press enter now, and what we're gonna do is you can just zoom in because it's snapping a lot. So I'm just gonna zoom in, and now it's looking really nice. But what we can do now is go into the blending options for the thumbs up button, and we can add a gradient overlay for this if we want to, and add an inner glow just like we did for the text. But for this one, if you want, you can go with the same color that you did for the rectangle, like a gray color, but if you don't, you can go with this, and I think it's looking really nice now. And to export this, what you have to do is make sure you delete the background, and it's a transparent background because we don't want the background to show up in our video. So you delete the background and go ahead into File and then click on Export, and from here you want to click on Export as, or go to Save for Web. I always like to use Save for Web because it has the highest qualities, and make sure PNG 24 is selected and click on Save. So name it whatever you want it to be. I'm gonna name it lower, and it should be fine, and I'm gonna save it. And now you can just drag this into your video editing software, and it should look really nice. And yeah guys, this was the video. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one.